when people sit around and say things like, oh, we're happy because now we feel safe. I don't know who feels safe in this country except for the white supremacists, because I specifically as a black woman definitely don't feel safe.
A sitting congresswoman just said that in a federal hearing directly to the FBI director's face. No filter, no diplomatic language. And she was just getting started. Let's go back to where this began.
So a couple of facts that we need to make clear for everyone is that, number one, Director Christopher Wray, I will agree that I definitely take issue with a number of decisions that Donald Trump makes, especially when it comes to the people that he decides to appoint. But when I say that you are the least qualified FBI director in the history of the FBI, that is real, because you are the only one that never even served. We are supposed to believe that you are the greatest thing since sliced bread. I didn't ask you a question. What I want to go through is to talk about why you are a failure and why, honestly, we just need to tell you bye-bye. I know that you got a little upset and you put on your show for your boss because it seems like you're trying to save your job when it came to talking to Senator Booker yesterday.
This is a factual claim, not just an opinion. Every FBI director before Kash Patel had direct experience inside the bureau or at a senior federal law enforcement level. Patel did not. His background as a prosecutor, congressional staffer, and Defense Department chief of staff is a real resume. Nobody is disputing that. But leading 35,000 specialized agents inside the most complex investigative institution in the world is a specific job. And the question she is raising, whether that resume actually prepares someone for this particular role, is one that has never had to be asked before in FBI history.
But let's go through some of your failures. That you are already targeting career officials so that you could direct illegal firings. Mind you, the cases came through his handpicked FBI director. And frankly, when people sit around and say things like, oh, we're happy because now we feel safe. I don't know who feels safe in this country except for the white supremacists, because I specifically as a black woman definitely don't feel safe. Because I know that multiple colleagues on this side of the aisle have faced death threats. I don't have any confidence in you. And if we start talking about the reasons that I lack confidence, we could start with you not just wanting to acknowledge some simple facts. Simple facts like the vast majority of the threats are coming from right-wing extremism. And I know my colleagues have tried to stress this, but I decided that I would maybe do it in a different way.
She is doing something here that most of this hearing did not do. She is making it personal, not emotionally personal, factually personal. A colleague's wife sleeping with a firearm because of anonymous death threats. Another colleague leaving Congress entirely because of safety concerns. These are not statistics. These are people. And her argument is straightforward. If the FBI under this leadership cannot protect the people responsible for overseeing it, what does that say about its broader priorities? That is not a rhetorical question. That is the question this hearing needed answered.
Number one, I have a couple of UCs. Kim Buck, one of multiple Republicans receiving death threats for voting against Jim Jordan as House Speaker. Another one, Republican lawmaker says she received death threats after voting against Jim Jordan in Speaker's race. In addition, there was another one from another colleague who now is leaving Congress because they said that they were calling his wife anonymously and threatening her life to the extent that she ended up sleeping with a firearm.
This moment is different from everything else in this hearing. She is not making a verbal argument. She is building a legal record. Every document entered here becomes part of the official public record of the United States Senate. That is a deliberate and calculated move. Because verbal arguments can be dismissed, official records cannot.
So here's the deal. How are we supposed to have confidence when you're sitting up here telling the Senate yesterday that it will take you 14 years before you can get the FBI fully staffed to do their jobs? You're also now redirecting resources so that they can go and play ICE agents on the streets, to the extent that you posted not only once erroneously, you posted twice erroneously as it relates to catching somebody, and then you want to go, even though he literally confessed online. So I'm confused about what it is that the FBI is doing except for trying to put on a show. There was domestic terrorism that was taking place at HBCUs. They were targeted. Yet I didn't hear anything from the FBI about what was going on. And again, black people kept saying, how did we end up in this? And honestly, I've not heard anything out of you today that makes me believe that you're going to do anything about the white supremacy problem, the one that is leading to children being killed, children being shot, as well as members of their community as they're worshiping in their churches.
For separate failures, one closing argument. 14 years to fully staff the Bureau, admitted by Patel himself in this very hearing. Agents pulled from specialized work to do immigration enforcement. A public announcement about catching an assassination suspect that was posted twice and was wrong both times. And then, the day after that case dominated every headline. Domestic terrorism targeting an HBCU received complete silence from FBI leadership. Each of these is a serious concern on its own. But together they point to the same question she has been asking from the beginning. Who exactly is this FBI working for right now?
I'll respond. Kash Patel, as I said when I introduced him, public defender, former prosecutor, top staffer on the House Intelligence Committee, Deputy Director of National Intelligence with the National Security Council, Chief of Staff at the Department of Defense, and FBI Director. And we've seen all the stats that he's given to the committee on how much better they're doing at getting the bad guys than the previous guy was doing. With that, I recognize the gentleman from South Carolina.